For more on the story, we're joined now by retired US Marine Corps Colonel Brendan Kearney. He's served as Chief of Staff for the US Marine Corps Forces Europe in Germany. Really good to have you with us, sir. Let's talk about this deal firstly, because we know Zelenskyy is due to arrive in Washington on Friday, where he'll sign this so-called rare earths agreement that Donald Trump had been pushing for. It would essentially give the US access to Ukraine's vast mineral wealth in an attempt for Donald Trump to recoup some of the billions that the US has spent on Ukraine's war effort. Do you believe this agreement should include security guarantees, as Volodymyr Zelenskyy had been hoping for?
I do believe that, as part of a deal, and of course, we all know Donald Trump's attitude towards deals, there is a give and take. And I think out of fairness, we in the United States have got to have some type of guarantees. And again, the extent of those guarantees we don't know, but something that Ukraine can hang its hat on and say, okay, they're getting something out of this in addition to U.S. monies and weapons.
And we know Donald Trump is increasingly being seen as someone who wants to thaw relations with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. In his recent comments, Trump had said that it's Europe who really should be guaranteeing Ukraine's security because Ukraine is in Europe as opposed to the United States, which is on the other side of an ocean. What do you make of that argument, that because Ukraine is geographically closer to Europe, that the US really shouldn't be playing a role in Ukraine's security?
I'm not so much sure that there's an attitude here about not playing a role. I think most Americans are willing to play a role, but a reasonable one. We definitely see Ukraine and Russia as being primarily a European problem. As you mentioned, we're a long way away on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, and I think we will continue to do as much as we can within reason to help Ukraine. But it's got to be a European solution. It can't be an American solution. That's just not going to work.
And do you think that Donald Trump's new, focus on Ukraine has really activated European leaders to really realize that perhaps they shouldn't take US security guarantees for granted and that they should be taking some of the load from Washington?
Oh, you've nailed it in your question. There absolutely is a sense here in the United States that it's a long overdue position that President Trump has pushed through apparently successfully, convincing our European friends and allies that they have to assume the majority of the responsibility. It's been too long since the end of World War II, wherein the United States really has funded the vast majority of the security relationships between us and NATO. So I think this is as healthy as can be for the relationship between the United States and Europe. It's way better than what's been done in the past, and hopefully we'll see this through to some degree of fruition.
Okay, Brendan Kearney, we will have to leave it there, but thank you so much again for joining us on the program.